Good morning and welcome to Upper Body Monday. Okay, let's get ourselves started by just warming up. I'm just going to jog gently on the spot. Nothing to onerous. So just warming ourselves up. Nice and steady, nice and gently. Feel our heart rate just go up that a little bit. That's the one. Okay, from there into some star jumps and jumping jacks. Get those great big joints moving. Get that synovial fluid flowing. All the way up, all the way down. And then back into just jogging on the spot. Okay, we'll stand there and just kick them out. Okay, so this morning we're going to work on our shoulders. So it's going to principally work on our medial delts. So muscle runs across the top of our shoulders, allows us to raise our shoulders up. Going to work on our rear delt. That's that little muscle just back here, allows us to pull our shoulder back just before we start to feel the shoulder blade start to move when it moves into our traps. We're also going to work or a little bit on our front, our anterior delts, but that's going to be just incidental as part of what we're doing in the movements. So it's going to be mainly those two muscles groups that we're going to be concentrating on, specifically, mainly that medial delt feeling. So we're going to need some weights to provide a little bit of resistance, or bands. You can welcome to use some bands on this one as well. If you don't have weights or bands available, just anything that provides that little bit of resistance, and then just make sure you've got that feeling and connection with your body. We're going to start off with some standing lateral raises. So we're going to stand with our arms down by our sides, palms facing one another, and we're going to bring our arms up to shoulder height and then slowly return back to the beginning. If you look at that from the side, as you see, my thumb is lower than my little finger, and it make sure that I'm using my shoulders and not my arms, specifically my biceps, to move the resistance. From there, I'm going to move into a combination movement. I'm just going to move away from that beam, which is going to be upright rows to shoulder press. We're going to move our arms from the side of us to in front of us, palms facing our body. And we're going to lift the weight or resistance up until our elbows are at our shoulder height. Once we've got there, we're going to spin our elbows underneath and then drive our hands up to the ceiling, all the way up. And slowly bring them back down and all the way down, starting position. If you look at that from the side, what you'll notice is I keep the weights as close as I can to my body as I lift them up, drive them up to the ceiling, and then bring them slowly back down all the way. 1 second. Comes. From there, once we've done the upright rows to shoulder press, we're going to go in to some Arnold presses. So for this, we're going to bring our hands up to shoulder height, with our palms facing forwards. But this time, as we drive our arms up to the ceiling, we're also going to spin our arms. Sorry, we start with our palms facing us, and as we drive up to the ceiling, we're going to spin our arms out so our palms are facing forwards, and slowly bring them back to the beginning. So just go through that once again. Start with our arms up, palms facing us. And then we're going to drive our arms up to the ceiling while spinning our hands so our palms face away from us. And slowly return back to the beginning. And again, as you see that from the side, what you'll notice again is we're keeping that as close to the center line of the body as we can, all the way back down. And then to finish things off, our fifth and final exercise is going to go into our bent over position. So again, sticking our backside backwards, keeping our back nice and straight. Our arms become levers as we go into our rear delts, shifting our focus into our posterior delts. Going to lift our arms up to the side, just to the point where we feel our shoulder blades start to move, and then slowly return them back to start position. So look at that from the side angle. Again, that bent over position, keep back nice and straight. Lift your arms up to the side, and slowly return them back to the beginning. Okay, so we're going to do 4 sets, as we usually do. 2 lots of 10, 1 lot of 12, 1 lot of 15. Don't have anybody here in the studio with me to help keep me count, so hopefully we'll make sure we can get through that. Starting with our 10 standing lateral raises. So find yourself a space, palms facing the body, arms at the side, and start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from there, bring the weights to the front of our body as we go to upright rows into shoulder press, our combination movement. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from there, going into our arm presses. So bring our arms up, so our palms are facing our face. We're going to drive them up to the ceiling, remember to spin our palms facing forwards. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And from there, into our bent over position, let's go for a rear delt. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, pop the weights down, have a break, grab a drink. Oh, da, da, da. Put the timer on, 1 whole minute, and it's working. Wow, only 2 days left of 2024. You guys maximized it. You still got 2 whole days left. Oh, yeah. What an amazing year 2024 has been. I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about it tomorrow as well. But yeah, I can kind of look back and think that's a hell of a year we've gone through. Lots of amazing things, lots of amazing people we've met, lots of amazing achievements for all those people that have been here as well. Your personal achievements and your goals. How many of you have actually met them? How many of you exceeded them? How many of you have actually had them change as well over the period of that 12 months? Because that's the other kind of thing, you know. Sometimes the goals that we set right at the beginning of the year or whenever we decide to set our goals do change because, you know, our experiences change, what happens in our lives change, which means that, you know, we've got to keep these things fluid. And one of the worst things you can do is try and keep goals so tight that actually they give you no room for maneuver, because sometimes the goal becomes the problem itself. Speaking of things that we need to get done, though, let's go on to set number 2, because this is definitely not a problem. This is a benefit. Giving yourself time for yourself. Okay, so straight into set number 2. We're going to concentrate now on the connection. So remember, we're connecting with our medial delts. That's the muscle going across the top of your shoulders. So really feel it squeeze as you raise your arms into the air. And we'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, keeping that focus on our medial delts. We're going to bring our arms to the front of our body, arms facing ourselves to go into upright rows to shoulder press. Again, really feel those shoulders squeeze. Try and squeeze as much as you can, especially as you start to get to the top of that movement before coming back down under control. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And from there into our Arnold presses. So palms facing our body, arms are bent, and the weight starts to our shoulders or your bands. And again, keep that connection on your shoulders. See if you can fire even more of those fibers. Really squeeze those shoulders to drive your arms into the air. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Transition into that bend over position. Again, back nice and straight and protected. That means bending your knee slightly, that's okay. But still get that feeling, that posterior delt, that tiny muscle. So you should feel it move just before your shoulder blades do. And then stop moving and start returning back to the start position as soon as you feel those shoulder blades moving. I'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, pop the weights down, have a break, grab a drink. I'll do the same again. Pop the timer on. Oh, so what's it going to look like if I do that? Does that still look okay? Yeah, I think we'll try it with that and see if we can get rid of that glare for a bit. So, talking about goals, etc. We'll do a little bit more about this tomorrow as well. The reason why I'm talking about it and thinking about it a lot is because now is the traditional time of the year that I look at what year ahead my yearly goals are going to be. As I set out what those what I want to achieve. Put myself some stretch goals in there, obviously, as well. What I think is going to be possible, I think it's going to be impossible. But my God, it's going to be a really interesting year ahead. We've got the 2 snow sculpting competitions coming up, so that's January and February. Then we've got the big challenge, which is the 3 marathons in the space of 13 days for Teenage Cancer Trust. I've still not run a marathon yet, so it's still interesting. Not even done that in training yet. But back to doing half marathons again as I popped into the group. Right, I will continue that conversation in a minute. In the meantime, let's get set number 3 done. Yeah, moving on to 12 reps. So, back into our starting position. Concentrate on timing now. That's what we're going to look at. And what I want us to do is fast on the way up, slow on the way down. I'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, bring the arms around to the front of us, palms facing. We're going to upright rows to shoulder press. Again, trying to keep those 12 reps. Speed exactly the same. Fast on the way up, slow and controlled on the way down. Really use that gravity. And we'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 11, nearly. 12. I'll get this counting like down one day. Into Arnold presses, the palms facing our bodies to start off with. Remember to twist our arms to go around. Same again, fast on the way up. Really feel that explosion. It's just squeezing as much out of your shoulders as you can to drive your arms into the air and slowly bring them back down to the starting position, fighting against gravity. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, from there, bending over, let's go into our rear delts. So again, to that nice straight back. Again, if that means bending your knee slightly and sticking your backside out, that's all good. Just keep that back nice and straight and protected. We'll start these. Again, fast on the way up, squeeze and slow the way back down. Starting in a 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, popping the weights down, have a break, grab a drink. We're doing incredibly well for timing, actually. I'll make a decision. Do we do it, put an extra set in? No, I think we'll be okay, actually. Oh, it's got 15 reps of each to go. So, yeah, what was I was talking about? Getting back to half marathons again. So I popped the message in the group again, thinking about how goals sometimes have to change, etc. And there's also different types of goals. Got to remember, we've got the process type of goals, so things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, the things that kind of are looking for us to get the results. So ensuring we put the process in means that we've got a better chance of getting the results out. And those can be things like doing the sessions, doing your reps, doing your sets, doing your weights, eating the right meals, getting the right resting, etc. And these are all the process of it. Or if you've got a goal around learning something new or giving yourself a new adventure to do or something, it's the kind of preparation work. It's the bit that you need to get in place to make that kind of happen. And ensuring that you've got that consistency of action and repetition that happens with that to make sure you're going to get the results. But sometimes I say the goal needs to change. And as I popped in the group, I wasn't very well, as you guys all know, beginning of December, ended up with that kind of flu virus thing that came around. That kind of really knocked me for six, especially from the running side of things. I ended up having to have like a whole week off running, then slowly getting back into it. And it was great because yesterday was the first day that I actually got back to doing a 21K. So, from a process goal perspective, I know where I want to be when I get to April. I want to be able to do that London Marathon followed by Milton Keynes Marathon followed by the Leeds Marathon. But I know that I need to get the practice in beforehand. So having like 3 weeks where I haven't been able to do like a half marathon because just physically I wasn't able to do it, meant that, I wanted to beat myself up about it, because that really doesn't help. But having that goal to know, okay, well, how much could I do? So like last weekend, I did I think it was 17 kilometers. Weekend before last, and then last weekend 21 kilometers, which is great. And I'll try and keep that up going forward. Might be a bit interesting to see how I'm going to do that in Ishgal and in Ely. But I'm sure I'll work a way out. Definitely. In the meantime, we've got set number 4 to do. So it's our last and final set. As always, if you want to increase the weight, then this is definitely one you should be doing it on to kind of finalize things out and try and fail. 15 is just it's an arbitrary number. It really doesn't matter in many respects. But what does matter is taking yourself to failure. So if it means that you only get 5 reps, then great, absolutely fantastic. You can feel happy you failed at 5. If you feel like you haven't failed at 15, and you end up with like 16 or 18 or something, then do so. But the key thing here is looking for that failure feeling as we kind of get into it. So where we can't squeeze any more out of our muscles. And we'll start these with our standing lateral raises, 15 reps, bring it all together. Great form, great feeling in connection, and great tempo. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, then into our combination move, our upright rows to shoulder press. So bring our arms around the front of our bodies, palm facing ourselves. Again, really bring it all together. Really feel those shoulders squeeze as you're like pulling your weights up and then driving your arms into the air. Slowly returning back to the start. In 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and from there into our Arnold presses. So bring our arms up to shoulder height, palms facing our bodies as we drive these up into the air. Again, bring it all together. Great form, great speed, great connection. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, get ourselves bent over into our rear delts, feeling it in our posterior delts. Again, really squeeze them on the way up. Feel the speed and feel the power and slow and control on the way down. We'll start these in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, pop the weights down, grab yourself a drink. It's the end of another upper body session for this week. Remember, we've got a full week this week, so back tomorrow for Lower body Tuesday. Then we've got core Wednesday. First session of 2025 is going to be a core session, followed by upper body Thursday, lower body Friday. Just a bit of that advance notice the week after, which I think is the week of the 6th of January. I've got no sessions that week. I will be over in Austria. So do join us though as we kind of go through the process of building Lily the Frog. So we'd lovely to see you there to support and enjoy the mountain views, etc. And until then, have an absolutely brilliant day ahead, full of whatever it is that you're going to create. And we'll speak to you later. Bye bye for now.